Somebody says, how come you don't have any information on your channel about biochar?
So that's the we do kind of use our own version of biochar, and I talk about it a little bit in the video that's coming out for you. Is like we apply wood ash to our gardens as a form of fertilizer, but I also burn my bones after I make bone broth, and I've pulled like as much of the minerals out as I can for making soups and things like that. Then I burn the bones in my fire, but they don't actually disintegrate. There's loads of surface area within the bones, and we apply that to our gardens. And yeah, there's some charcoal and things like that left over. I haven't done a ton of research on biochar, and this is another thing where it's like context is everything. It's like biochar was a fantastic tool or a practice that was developed in a particular context, namely the Amazon rainforest. And in their context, the tropical rainforest, the decomposition cycle is so fast that there's almost no topsoil. And part of that is because the rains are so heavy there, the topsoil will just get washed away. And so naturally the soils are very poor because all the nutrients is locked up in living plants. Because when a tree falls, within like a few weeks, it's gone because it's so humid there, it can just break down rapidly. And so humans, indigenous populations in the past found that if you were to turn organic matter into coal or biochar, it basically you can create a bunch of surface area and it's a great pore space for bacteria, and it kind of buffers pH and things like. There's a lot of different things that it does, but it was like really great for their context. And I'm not saying it wouldn't benefit our soils here, but there's kind of an 80-20. Like on my farm, we were stripping a dam like 2 days ago at our place, and we're on like the top of our hills, and we've got 3 feet of like black topsoil.
Yeah, exactly. Context.
Like, I don't need any more biochar in my soil. My plants are doing that for me.
Yeah.
And so it's not a weak link for me. Would it benefit? Probably, but the amount of energy it would take me to use pyrolysis to burn it in an oxygen-free environment, like I would have to do a separate thing that I couldn't use anywhere else, versus like wood ash is a byproduct. It has nutrients in it, and there's some unburnt material. It's fine like that, but I'm getting the same benefit of biochar just in the carbon that my plants are sucking into the ground.
It's great because it's the whole biochar thing. It's almost like a religious cult sometimes. Like I have this group of people that have been emailing me for years. I swear they email me at least once a month. For a while, they'd email me every day. You need to talk about biochar, whatever. But what you just said pretty much closed the book on this for me, is that it's context. And because of where this came from originally, historically, was in the Amazon forest, where there is barely any topsoil. Makes sense. In Alberta, you guys are swimming in topsoil.
Yeah.
The prairies, the grasslands, where all the ruminant animals grazed, you've got endless amounts of topsoil. So what's the point? Especially when you put it in the context of, well, then with the biochar creation, you got to do this one thing that doesn't stack in anything else. Whereas you can get somewhat of a biochar result from just using wood ash or throwing your broth bones in there. Perfect. Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is the other piece is like, it's not a weak link for me. Like you've seen my gardens, Chris. I'm a super lazy gardener, and like you can just like throw shit on the ground and it just, I had beets this year that were 8 inches in diameter and like 2 feet long. It's just like, so it's like context and weak link, and then the Pareto's principle. It's like, what's the 80-20? And in the rainforest, it absolutely was the 80-20 there. And again, coming back to this context, one of the theories about kind of how this biochar was created is that their kind of human waste and garbage was kind of a problem, and so like they must have developed some kind of like a sanitation system where they were like turning their garbage into something valuable in this pyrolysis process, where you're burning firewood in an oxygen-free environment, and then incorporating that into your topsoil. And that literally, based on the research that I've seen, is what enabled people to live in that context. Without that, they could not have done annual agriculture because their topsoils and the nutrients would have just washed away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I also will admit I have not experimented with it myself. I could be totally wrong. I could be missing, the one kind of piece of information that would change my mind on this thing. However, after seeing enough of these silver bullets and spending a lot of money, oh, it's compost tea, that's going to fix all my problems.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
yeah.
it's balancing the magnesium in my soils. Oh, it's fish hydrolysis. Like the
monomania thinking.
It is.
This one thing solve all your problems.
So that the easiest way to cure yourself of that kind of thinking is just spend time researching other people's, silver bullets, because you'll see that it's like, oh, well, like if he's right, I could be right. And so it comes down to that context piece and doing a weak link analysis and things like that.
Great stuff.